It's 9 a.m. Commissioner's Office requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting of November 14th, 2019. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Aye. Okay, and then the Commissioner's Office requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting of November 19th, 2019. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner DeWart?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Okay. And then Jerry.
On November 20th, I approved a supplemental appropriations from the Common Pleas and their Probation Services Fund transfer out account and a cash transfer from the Common Pleas Court out of their Probation Services Fund to the General Fund to repay a cash advance from December 18th, 2018 to the Pre-Sentence Investigation Report Fund and the Pretrial Release Supervision Fund to provide resources needed between now and their first draws from the state in 2020. And then on November 25th, I approved a financial, basically negating what I approved on the 20th, the cash transfer from the Common Pleas Court to reverse the transfers that were completed on November 20th under Resolution 19167, but were subsequently found not to an allowable inter-fund transfer. So basically just reverse what happened, what was approved on the 20th.
Okay. All right, thank you, Jerry. Glenn?
Morning.
Morning.
Glenn, how are you?
Oh, it's beautiful outside.
Yes, sir.
This is for hiring the architect, engineering for the Opera House elevator, working with Jessica down there and getting this going.
Okay.
I think we're in a fast track on this now, going in the right direction.
Good, good. Okay, perfect. I'm going to read 4, please.
The Maintenance Department is requesting the Board approve and execute the contract agreement with Poland Engineering Ltd. to perform professional services MEP Opera House elevator upgrades for a 1-year period in amount not to exceed $8,000.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner DeWart?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Perfect.
Glenn.
Yeah.
This would be
Yeah.
on the financials.
Yep, yep, yep.
Good morning.
Hey,
Good morning.
Today's financials include an appropriations transfer from the general fund to the sheriff's contract services account to return appropriations for refunded inmate medical costs. Cash transfers include one from the Medicaid local sales tax transition fund into the general fund, and from the Commissioner's office to the sewer water debt retirement fund for our 2019 second half debt payment for the county water tower and plant, which ends in just a couple years, so there's a couple more payments. Encumbrances include travel requests from JFS to attend the Human Resources Association December meeting and a Bureau of County Finance Plain Fiscal Foundation training. Contract PO for maintenance to Hirschberger Roofing and Siding for a new roof on the Dog Warden's building. A then and now from the Planning Commission for travel-related expenses not previously encumbered. A contract PO from Water Resources to Workman Industrial for the Auburn Corners Troy Oaks upgrade and pump station conversion project. Among the vouchers are $9,396 from the Commissioner's Office for Lake Business Products for the 2 new copiers for archives, and $6,779.50 from JFS to TDDS Technical Institute for a workforce investment CDL training course. And there are 2 revenue certifications. One's a decertification from Common Pleas to reduce the amount of revenue to be received in the drug court fund due to only being operational for a portion of this year, and a revenue certification for 2020 from juvenile court in their care and custody fund for additional revenue they expect to receive next year.
Great. Any questions, comments? None. Get a motion to approve the financials.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner DeWart?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you.
Morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Item 6 on the agenda is requesting the board approve and execute the final change order with Roniak Paving for the asphalt resurfacing of Caves Road. It's a cost increase of $2,900, it's basically incidental to meet the project site conditions.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes. Nick, just for my own understanding, so an increase would be, so when they bid on a project, right, they come in at, XYZ number, this is, they went over
So-
approximately $3,000?
Yeah.
And they're coming to you and they're coming to the county and asking us to increase it? Is that-
No, we've actually, this is actual quantities used for the job, so we'll do an estimate of quantities, and sometimes a driveway, if we pave a driveway apron, might be 10 feet instead of 8 feet. Or the actual site conditions, when we mill the road, it might be 21 and a half feet versus 21. So
So
we're
you-
allowed by law in the ORC to increase any line item by 10%
I see.
without a change order.
Okay.
So we'll, and then at the end, we can do this final
Okay.
adjusting. So when I'm saying incidental, on that final change order that you're signing, you'll see some additions and you'll see deductions, and those are actual quantities where we either went over or went under. So this is basically, that change order is an agreement between the county engineer's office, the contractor, and the Board of County Commissioners saying, this is the final dollar amount. You know,
Okay.
there's no way they're not coming back and then they're like a month from now saying, oh, by the way, we forgot.
I see,
You
okay,
know,
okay,
Right.
Right.
You know, we did have a little bit in this job to do, wrong one. So basically, they're just ups and downs, so a little bit more asphalt to get cross slope, or, we did reduced the amount of.
okay.
pavement
Because
repair
sometimes
we did on
it'll
the job.
change, I mean, your estimate may be different than what you originally thought, or something
Right.
comes up in the middle of a project, we're like,
Correct.
hey, we got it.
That's it, depending on the magnitude, if it's substantial or not, depending on that magnitude.
Yeah.
We would, if it's a large item, we would have to come to the commissioners and get an approval to do that change order. But when it's in this incidental,
Okay.
minor adjustments in a bid quantity, like a couple cubic yards of asphalt.
Yeah,
to-
yeah.
Right.
I mean, it
That's
doesn't
what-
happen often, I mean, we
We
don't
go up
see-
and down all the time,
Yeah.
most
But,
of
I
the
mean,
time
we
we're
don't see
under.
these very often here,
At the end of the job, but most of the time we're under.
Yeah.
Most of our jobs, you'll see like the next two, we're under.
Right.
It's just a matter of what the site conditions are, the amount of asphalt or the amount of repairs. Once we mill off the surface, most of these jobs were mill and fills. So, once we mill off the surface, we drive it beforehand and say, hey, repair, come up with a quantity, but after we take the surface off, that number could actually decrease by a large amount because
see.
it's all just in the surface material. Whereas it could also go the opposite direction, which happened 2 years ago on Aquila Road over by Merritt and Ravenwood. The repairs went up by almost, 8% just because underneath it was a lot worse than what we expected.
I see.
And sometimes you have to have a full depth repair, and you have to take care of that right away.
Correct, so that would be sometimes that'll increase that quantity, and a lot of these, you'll see if you look at it, Caves Road, when we did the calculations, we missed the lane arrows, or we added too many and we painted it, so it's a deduction. So again, it's an incidental
Okay.
change order just to meet conditions which were allowed by the ORC.
Okay, great, thank you, appreciate that. If we could read 6,
We already
please.
read on this.
Oh, we did,
We
okay.
already voted on
Been
six.
voted on.
Oh, I'm
six.
sorry.
We're going to 7.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah.
7 is requesting the board approve and execute the final change order decreasing the contract with Roniak Paving for the asphalt resurfacing of Clay Street in Montville by $7,600. This one, we did have a little bit, we had a minor change order on it to get some additional milling on the job, to pick up some rollover spots where we had some crack seal that was a little bit heavier. When the asphalt gets placed on it, that crack seal that you see us do the maintenance, if we do it too early before we pave, it becomes like a goop.
Hmm.
And that asphalt will actually, it'll just slide on it and it'll lap over when it hits dry, so we mill off that before we put the final surface on, so you can't feel that, so.
Cool.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Aye.
And then the last one is approving the final change order with Roniak Paving, decreasing the contract for the asphalt resurfacing of Wilson Mills in the amount of $18,863. This is one of those scenarios where we reduce the amount of pavement repairs by $19,000 after we mill the surface. So
Make a motion on A.
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
thank you.
Thanks, Nick,
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Yes, sir.
Good job. Okay. Yeah.
Morning, Linda, how you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
Okay. So item 9 is, was at the last planning commission meeting for a replat of 2 sublots in Lake Lucerne. It's an older subdivision in Bainbridge Township, platted back in the 20s. So the lots are non-conforming, and the existing house was torn down, a new house was rebuilt, and then so the Bainbridge Township Board of Zoning Appeals required that the lots be consolidated prior to occupancy, so the builder is following through with that. And the consolidated acre is about 0.69 acres.
Okay. You want to read 9?
The planning commission is requesting the board approve and execute the replat of lot 9C and lot 10C of the Lake Lucerne Land Company's Lake Lucerne subdivision number 1 in Bainbridge Township.
So move.
Second?
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Sounds good, thank you. Yep.
Thanks, Linda. You want, does she need this here?
No.
No.
I'll give it to her back in session.
Okay, thank you. Sir. Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Hello. You doing okay? Good. Sign that there, and then that's Tim's marker.
Okay. So, Department of Aging.
Yeah, for approval to execute the resolution that allows us to put the tax levy on the ballot.
Boy, these things come fast.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
don't
they're
they?
5 years in.
It does.
This is the first step. So this is the request for the certification of the dollar amount from that way. And then once we receive that back, then we'll do the second step. And I know it says in excess of the 10 mil limitation. 10 mil is inside millage, this is outside millage.
So on this one here, is this gonna be one of the continuous levies, or is this just a 5-year?
5-year.
Yeah. That sounds good, because I know that we definitely got called on, a couple of people, about the continuous part of it, that they would rather approve to move forward with just being able to, to assign it every 5 years to look at it, so, yeah. So real quick, I know Tim, and for Tim's sake and for Jim's sake, just give a little bit of a background on this as far as like, with the Department on Aging, with the funds that come in on this levy,
It's more or less 80% of our
80,
budget.
right, okay. So that's pretty much how the aging is, the
Operating.
Department of Aging is running in the county, so, through this levy for all the different programs, so.
I mean, approximately, Jerry, how much money is this, do you know? Generate part budget-wise?
I don't know what the total amount is for us.
That's what we're,
This isn't.
This is a renewal.
Yeah.
And it's already out there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If we could get a reading on 10, please.
the Department on Aging is requesting the board approve and execute resolution 1917 declaring it necessary to levy a tax in excess of the 10 mil limitation for the benefit of the Geauga County Department on Aging, and requesting certification by the county auditor of the dollar amount generated as authorized by ORC 5705.03, .07, .19, .191, .24, .25, and .26.
So move.
Second.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I wonder, please, Diane Jones, Auburn Township, there was a dollar amount that was mentioned, and as close as I am sitting, I did not hear that dollar amount. Could you repeat that for my benefit, please? The amount of money?
There was.
There was not a
There was
dollar
no
amount.
dollar amount, Jack.
I don't.
There
So you're
was-
hearing
There
good
was
news.
none.
Okay,
I-
okay, thank you.
That's what I
Appreciate that.
asked. I asked
Okay.
that.
This resolution actually requests that amount from the auditor's office.
So the auditor will
So the
provide that.
certificate
First
will
step.
come in, and then once that certificate comes in, we'll give him the amount that was
Hello.
generated by the levy.
Okay.
And then the second step then is following that, that actually would then put the actual levy on the
Okay.
ballot. So it's a multi-step process to get it to.
Okay, hi, good morning.
So we are finally awarding the 2017 DDC Clinic paving project. It was under $50,000 for the cost of the project, so we were able to send out requests for proposals. We received 4 proposals. We're choosing to award Burton Scott. They were the second lowest bid at $35,850. We have $36,400 awarded for the project, so that allows for some wiggle room if we have any change orders. And then anything over that amount, we have a commitment letter from DDC Clinic, they'll pay the difference. We weren't able to accept the lowest bid because they had left some pieces out of the specifications from our engineers. So it wasn't an equal comparison among proposals. So that's why we decided to go with Burton Scott. And we've talked with them, if we are not able to complete the project before the plants close, we've talked with their state representative, and they are willing to extend the project work from February through May.
Okay.
So that when the plants reopen, we'll be first on the list and we can go ahead and finish the project.
Good. Okay. Great. You want to read that?
The Department of Development is requesting the board approve and authorize the president and the board to execute the notice of award to Burton Scott Contractors LLC for the DDC Clinic parking lot improvements under grant BF 17-187 in the amount of $35,850 as they represented the lowest and best proposal.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Commissioner
Aye.
Spudler? Commissioner Lennon?
Yes. Very good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Yep.
Happy holidays.
Yep.
You too.
You
Thank
guys
you.
also, yep.
Go ahead, Ms. Scott.
Okay.
That's what they sing twice.
It's musical chairs, but we needed to get that one on, so.
Yeah. Gotta see you
Long
twice.
time no see.
see what this is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where'd you learn that?
Good to know. Good to know.
Okay. That's the first thing I asked for.
Yes. Okay. 12?
12 is wallpapering. When we remove the wallpaper, this is the judge's chambers. Like, this is one room that has not been done. I don't even know. I can't. No one knows when that wallpaper was put up. So we're putting up new wallpaper. We're gonna take down. We don't know what's behind the old work. So this is coming out of cypre money from the court's money. This is not coming out of our money.
Sounds like it's good, spending it down.
Okay, if we
So
could be,
before they put the wallpaper on, they're gonna size the wall?
Yes. Oh, they're gonna, it's that plaster underneath it, so we don't know what we're getting into. So, like I said, it's the judge's chambers.
Usually they patch all the holes in there, put a coat of paint or two on it, and then they put the wallpaper on.
We're not putting wallpaper back
Oh.
on top of the wallpaper.
Okay.
So we're taking that off. Because it's really bad. So, take that all off. 2 contractors recommended taking it off too.
Okay.
okay, if we could get a reading.
The Maintenance Department is requesting the board approve and execute the contract agreement with Nelsky Incorporated doing business as Paul Davis, Cleveland Metro, for remove and replace wallpaper in Geauga County Courthouse office for a 1-year period in the amount not to exceed $8,000.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
The next 3 is for seasonal help. These are college kids that are be home for Christmas vacation. All right, so they'll probably get 2 weeks out of them, hopefully maybe 3. We're starting a big long list already of things that they can go out and do and get it done. So helps them, helps us, all the way around. So
Excellent.
basically it's for when they come home for Christmas vacation.
Yeah.
Okay. Motion on 13, 14, and 15?
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you.
Leonard, see you later, bud.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You too.
Okay. 16. Jerry?
Oh,
That would be when we reconvene down in Parkland.
no, you're missing
No.
one.
This
Yeah.
is the,
Oh.
Transit, county forms.
Oh, okay, sorry, I checked off 16 on that last one when you did those all together.
Okay.
This is just the updating the county forms for the accounting forms for the Department on Transit. It's just so that with the new, with Joanna being there and the new fiscal officer, they can sign off on.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, motion on 16?
So move.
Second?
Commissioner DeWark?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
I have one addition.
Okay.
Calm down.
The Corsa member.
Oh,
Voting.
yes. Of course, was having their meeting down at during the CCAO meeting. And they're gonna be voting on whether to get rid of their MOU with the CCAO or not. We just need to establish who the voting members are for that.
Okay.
I'm gonna be down there at that time. I don't know if Jim or you may be down there.
Yeah,
at 11
I
a.m.
signed up for that meeting. I didn't know there was,
So this just,
Currently, it's listed as Tim as the primary and Jim as the.
Is this
as
during the winter
second.
conference?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna be at the winter conference, so we'd probably make Jim,
that's how I have it set up.
Yeah.
Instead of Jim as a voting representative and Jerry is.
okay,
Okay.
that works.
So,
I'll make a motion.
second?
Commissioner DeWark?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Thank you.
Then the only other thing that says, when there's planning commission appointments that are coming in,
They are due, before the end of December.
because I know we had a request from Katerina and also from
Gary.
Jerry.
I have received
Jim
Gary
Caskey.
requests
Gary
from all three.
Neola.
And Jim had sent in one too, I believe, right?
Yeah, we got
So-
Gary's.
Yes.
So I mean, I
I can
haven't-
put it on for Tuesday.
Yeah, and if we could do that, just so that it's done and get that cleaned up to keep those pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that all it is 3?
Yes, there's
Okay.
only those three, and they've all asked to be, requested to be reappointed.
Okay.
And they've all resubmitted their applications. I sent one to Jim and one to Gary, and they refilled them out and sent them
Good.
in. So,
Okay,
yes, I was waiting for those to come back in, and then,
And that's Katerina, Gary, and who else?
Jim McCaskey.
Oh,
He was filling out the remainder of the term for Mr. Rogish,
okay.
which was only up through the end of this year, so that's where his short term is for his reappointment, so. So yes, I'll put those on for Tuesday. There's one other
And do we have another one coming up for the library again?
law library,
Oh, law library.
not the town, not the board of trustees for the public library. This is just the law library resources for Catherine Gillette, is currently in that position. I was waiting for Crystal to tell me whether or not she wanted to be reappointed or not, so I'm kind of waiting for that to come in.
How are we doing with mental health? I know I know we filled a bunch there, but are any of those coming up, or?
No, the two seats that I had that were, they reappointed were the state appointments. You filled all of those, they are all complete.
And any of those won't be renewed until January, or until July anyway.
Okay.
July 1st.
They're mid-year
Yeah.
appointments.
Okay, good.
We do have one for developmental disabilities, though we got a notice late last week from Don Rice that one of the board members is moving out of the county.
Yeah, Mark,
Yeah, so there will be an opening there.
So they're going through their process that they typically do, where they put out, and request for, applications to fill, and then they, typically make a recommendation to you of that. So that's what they were gonna do, was go through with their normal process that they usually go through
Okay,
to seek applicants. So there will be a recommendation coming from Board of PD for that.
Okay.
So, the rest of them are typically, end of the year, beginning of the year. I'm waiting for Family Services to send me their request from, Job and Family Services. I sent out my normal letter about end of year appointments and beginning of year appointments for rework, so.
Okay.
Just waiting for those, they're starting to come in, trickle,
Okay.
so.
Which does bring up another point, I was gonna talk to each one individually, but since we're here, do we wanna have a,
Work session.
Work session, thank
to
you.
go over reorg.
On the 31st, to go over reorg, so that reorg is just.
Yeah, that would be
putting them up on
totally
voting,
easy to
but
do.
it's- So we'll schedule for the 31st,
At the end of the meeting.
the end of the regular commissioners meeting.
So Jessica, she's obviously not here today, right? But moving forward with this levy, now, is this, for Department of Aging, is this, Is this their only levy?
That is their only levy.
Okay. And I guess my question is, when these things come up after 5 years, do they reassess and look at necessities and say, I mean, just because 5 years went by doesn't mean we continue to do the same things year after year after year? I mean, do they look and say, hey, maybe we could make cuts, or I'm not implying that particular Department of Aging, but I would think they should be reassessing, you know, not either staying the same or growing and getting bigger, but maybe there's areas to reduce costs. You know, do they do that?
They have been looking into that before they came up, because they weren't sure whether they wanted to do, what type of renewal they wanted to do. If they wanted to do a reduction renewal, or if they would be able to do just a regular renewal
Right.
straight up, or do, you know, if they would maybe need more funding.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they did go through and did evaluate their finances and what programs they're having
Mm-hmm.
and what they're doing, so it's.
Jessica left me a note to read. Though we had an increase in the service provision throughout our agency, we are confident in our ability to access additional funding and resources to move forward with the renewal levy.
Okay.
So she's been looking at fees and the other
Okay.
things.
One of the things that Jessica has implemented within the Department on Aging over the last years is doing the economic evaluation, the financial evaluations of the people who are utilizing the things that they provide.
Services,
And
yeah.
you know, charging some additional fees so that it's not all on, people who can afford to pay something will pay that fee
Mhm.
rather than it being all within their budget.
Yeah. I mean, I understand how important this is, this levy to that department. Obviously, this is their entire,
80%.
you know, their entire budget essentially. But, you know, I still think it's a good opportunity to go through and just see, you know, is there things in here that we're just doing because we've been doing
We're
it forever?
constantly looking
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
the department is constantly looking at that, and one of the things we're looking at now is the West G Senior Center.
Yeah,
Whether that's, you know, gonna continue to rent, or if they wanna work with that Department of Development, or with
Oh.
developmental disabilities.
At Mets and Bonds.
And move, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
there are things they're constantly looking at.
Okay.
They're making sure they're utilizing funds in the right location, and what
Yeah.
the funds they needed or what they actually need.
yeah. I mean,
I think that's a big one there, like when we're paying these rents, you know, in some of these places, that we're putting that money is never coming back to us, and I get it, it's a, you know, it's, you know, fulfilling a need right there, but I think we ought to be reinvesting back into something that's ours.
Right.
And then we don't have a payment on it, and we could, you know, like Tim's saying, you know, we could utilize those situations, I mean, long after we're gone, but they're gonna be in a situation where they'll own it, and they'll
Right.
have something that they have that they were not paying on, you know, and,
Yeah, we just have to make sure as we do look at that, you know, we do the financial evaluation of
Right.
long-term as opposed to short-term. And so
Yeah.
so we gotta keep in mind any upgrades we're gonna need to do on a building, and what we wouldn't have to do if we were renting.
Yeah.
But that's the evaluation you gotta do anytime you're looking
Sure.
at that kind of situation.
It'd
Yeah, so
be nice to
they're
have a
currently
5-year plan.
reviewing options.
yeah.
And more people are utilizing the services every year. Everybody's living longer.
okay. Okay, thank you. So the Commissioner's office will reconvene at 11:30 a.m. in Parkland Township later today to hold a public viewing regarding the proposed petition to vacate the public right-of-way. So with that, motion to reconvene, recess, I'm sorry, yeah,
Make a motion to recess.
recess. And then we also have solid waste district meeting today at 1 p.m. at the district office. County office will be closed for general business for Thanksgiving, obviously. And so, same with Friday. They will also be closed except for 24-hour essential services. And then we'll be back, regular session, 9 a.m. When, on the next
The third.
Tuesday? Yeah, the 3rd.
December already.
Wow, can't believe it. Okay. Very good. So that's 11:30 at Doty Road?
Yes,
Okay.
it's about 35, 40 minutes
Yeah. Okay.
to get out there.
Out there too.
I need for each of you to tell me whether to confirm yes or no whether you're gonna go to the Family Managers Convention in January.
Probably not. If it's a weekend, right? Isn't it a
It is.
weekend?
It's
Yeah,
Friday, Saturday,
I'm sure I've
Sunday.
got hockey tournaments in January.
It's what, it's
It's the
what they.
first weekend in January, which I think is the 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
I'm gonna have to get back with you on that, Christine. I told them I would try to be down there. Third, fourth, and fifth, okay.
Let me check.
And then our reorg is gonna be what day?
It will be Tuesday, January 7th.
Tuesday the
So it's
7th.
regular meeting day. It's not a special. That's not a special day. It'll be that first meeting in January.
Okay.
It's gonna be on the Tuesday the 7th.
I might be able to go down that, like, you said it's the 3rd, 4th, and 5th? That 3rd's a Friday?
Yes.
Yeah. You might be able to go down, Friday, Saturday, and maybe come back,
Okay,
Yeah.
just
I
let
don't-
me
I
know.
probably couldn't stay all
Hotel
weekend.
rooms were booked, they booked them all in advance, they just have to reduce what is not needed, but they actually have to do the registration.
So out of that 3rd, 4th, and 5th, which is the two critical days to be there?
I've never been, so
I think like the 3rd is kind of busy.
Yeah,
Friday
Friday
and
and
Saturday.
Saturday,
Yeah.
Sunday's just kind of the,
Yeah.
it's the.
Like, I'd probably just drive
wrap up
down and
Sunday
then come
morning
home.
and come, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd go down and back. I wouldn't even need a hotel, probably.
yes, just confirm for me one way or another, so I can let Paul know so they can get the registration in for the conference.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, it's good, it's fun, actually.
Yeah.
It's nice,
Everybody runs their county fair different.
yeah.
And Paul's president this year. On their set.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
All right. That's it, folks, this morning.
Well, at least it's not snowing out.
Oh, I've been watching the weather. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, like 57 and